Hi, my name is Matthew Parsons. I am a realtor here at Keller Williams in Knoxville, Tennessee, but I'm also an adoptive father. And today, for our little focus on different ministries and different things in the area of Knoxville, I thought we would spend some time with Becky Smith of the Forgotten Initiative and just find out a little bit more about the incredible ministry that they have and what they're doing for the adoption and foster care community here in Knoxville. So first of all, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. Yeah. So Becky, what exactly is the Forgotten Initiative?
It is a foster care ministry, and our goal is to mobilize the body of Christ to do the work of caring for the foster care community, whether that's mentoring, supporting, or encouraging any of the people that are involved in foster care, whether it's birth parents or foster parents, the children, of course, and social workers as well.
Oh, so you guys help. You guys basically are there as a resource then essentially for everyone involved in the foster care and adoption process. That's great. Great. Now, can you tell me, how did the Forgotten Initiative start exactly?
It started nationally with our founder, Jamie, and her eyes were really open to exactly that the foster care community even existed. And our journey into that was very similar as well. We really didn't know what went on in the foster care community. We didn't even know it existed until we saw Wendy's Wonderful Kids does that program every year for kids that are looking for placement and stuff. And I watched it, and I just thought, these kids are just looking for a home, like in a family, and we have that.
Right.
So what are we doing? So that's how we kind of got started. And
so you guys saw this video online, and it was this call to you. Okay. What was the video again exactly?
This was a Christmas special that Wendy's does called Wendy's Wonderful Kids, or Home for the Holidays, I think is what they call it. And it features families that have adopted through foster care and other children that are waiting.
So that was the eye opener for you guys, and you decided to get involved, and then that just opened up door after door.
And then after we kind of fostered and then adopted, we thought, well, we're kind of full, and but we still want to help. So that was kind of how the ministry came out of that.
Okay. So Jamie, is that her name?
Yes.
Was the original founder.
Right.
Where was she from originally? And then also, tell me about, in particular, the Knoxville Forgotten Initiative. What would we call it? Chapter?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I think right. Chapter, or advocate area. I think
there you
they
go.
kind of technically call us that.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So she's in Illinois, and she started it there, and then she had friends kind of outside of there that wanted to do the same thing, and then we kind of jumped on with that too. So there's about 30 of us around the country in different cities that have their own area of ministry.
And so, what can you tell me? You and I were talking a little bit before we got started, and you were telling me that each Forgotten Initiative chapter, newly branded name, right here, happened here. You saw it first. Each chapter, essentially, because you guys are just looking for needs within that large spectrum of people involved with foster care, you kind of go where the needs are.
Exactly.
So each chapter kind of has a little bit of a thing that they're doing. So tell me, what exactly is the Knoxville chapter doing?
Okay. We're doing journey bags. That's probably the first thing that we're doing, and that's kind of what we started with and what we've continued to do. We've tried to amp that up in the last couple of years, and our goal really is to be able to provide 30 a month. A CPS worker told us if we did 30, that's about how many children they see coming in each month. And so if we do 30 bags, then each child can get one when they come into custody.
Okay.
And the journey bags have things like toiletries, pajamas, stuffed animals, blankets, a book. Usually it's a Bible book, or we do have a book on foster care that's for each age group that our founder Jamie wrote. They're beautiful books, and they really are kind of one of the only books about foster care that really can help a child kind of through that journey and talking about what it's like to be in foster care. And so we have socks and underwear. They're all broken down by different ages and stuff like that. So there's a bag for each age group and each gender and all of that. So, and they're all personalized, and it's a great thing to do as a family. We have people that have families that do it. We have a friend that she's a large family, and so she'll do that with her kids. Like that's their little date. She'll take each one of her kids out one at a time, and they'll shop for a bag for that child's age, which is great because you think, who better to pick out a 5-year-old's pajamas than
A
5-year-old.
Right, exactly.
Rather than
I mean, I could do it, but I doubt I could fit into them. I doubt I could fit into
well,
them.
you know, there's that.
Try mine.
So.
But and so it reminds me in a little bit. It reminds me in a lot of ways, almost like Operation Christmas Child, that a lot of people are familiar with, right? Like I'm putting this thing together, and it's a family activity, and we're doing this.
Exactly.
And we're shopping for a boy or a girl.
Too. You know, I mean, there's businesses that will collect, a bunch of stuff, and they'll do it all together, and so it's something that works great to do as a church. As an office, we had a local hair salon office that put together a bunch of beautiful, beautiful bags for us. And like I said, we have families that will do it. Maybe they'll do it for Easter instead of doing Easter baskets for their kids and giving them a bunch of candy that they don't really want them to eat anyway. Right. They'll do a journey bag and they'll do that together. Or we've had some that they love to Black Friday shop but don't really need anything, so they'll go out as a family and shop for journey bag stuff instead. So, awesome. So there's just we love it because it's a great way for really people to get involved and kind of understand what it's like to be in foster care, because you're packing this bag and you're thinking, this child is coming out.
Yeah, why am I packing underwear? Right? Why am I packing a toothbrush?
Why do they need this? They're not going to have a toothbrush, teddy bear. They don't get to bring their favorite teddy bear. Sometimes they don't get to bring their favorite teddy bear. So it really is a good eye opener, but it's also really encouraging. We've heard really fabulous stories about the bags that we've packed, and there was one in another state where the foster mom was sitting in church, and this was several months later. They had a placement for about a year, and they were kind of going through a really hard time because foster care is tough, and the kids go through a lot of tough emotions. And she was sitting in church, and they were showing a little promo video for TFI, and she looked on the screen, and it was a video from a packing event, and she saw the bag that her daughter had received in foster care, and here she's seeing this church family, hands over the bag, praying, and she's thinking, all this time,
it was just a bag.
For me. They've been praying for me. They've been praying for this child. And to see that was just really a great encouragement for her at that time. So,
okay, so one of the things that you had mentioned is you guys are doing these journey bags, and they're a great opportunity for families and small groups and things like that to get involved. What are some of the other things that you guys are doing besides perhaps journey bags? And also, what are some of the service opportunities then you would have, for people? If my family is not currently doing a journey bag, and those are being heavily already taken care of and covered, how else can we get involved?
Okay. One of the things that we've done in the past as a ministry for teens that are pregnant or parenting while they're in foster care or have aged out of foster care is, of course, one of the things that we see with foster care is the generational cycle. A lot of children that were in the foster care system that didn't have the best examples growing up. You do what your parents did most of the time, and so it's not always a good choice to make. And so we want to break that cycle. So early on, that was another thing that we got involved in was a program that we did called NAP, Never Alone Parenting Program, to help these mamas and kind of mentor them. And we had some that were under 18, some that were over 18 that had aged out. One of the things we started doing was throwing baby showers for them to encourage them in their pregnancy to keep those babies and to do the best they could to parent them themselves and all of that. So that was a really fun time, which is a great way when we've had baby registries before that people can give to. Like we'll put, do a registry on Amazon or Target and let the birth mom pick what she might like for her little one and stuff. We had a great success with that. Last year we did a shower for a mama that was, we really only found out that she was due a month away from her due date, and people really came together, and within 48 hours everything was purchased that she needed: the stroller, the car seat, the crib, and all kinds of stuff. So it was really, really sweet. She was overwhelmed and ready. Right. So that's another thing. And then we would meet with them. We would do a meal, and we would kind of talk about different parenting topics. And sometimes we would have people come in. We had a lady come in from the library and talk about reading with your kids and the importance of that and how to find books. And so I think that was an encouragement to our moms. We had a lady come in and do cloth diapering, which can be a great savings, monetarily too, if you're out on your own at 18 and with a baby to support, finding different ways to save and things like that, and to show them different resources. We're always available to them whenever they need us. We've paid utility bills to help them get through the month, all kinds of different things. So there's different ways people can help with that too. Gift cards to Walmart when school starts. They can, we had a mama that she actually was one of our teen moms that ended up doing kinship fostering for a friend of hers whose kids ended up in care. She was one of our girls at an age out of foster care, and we had supported her in that, and she had been doing really well. And then she had a friend whose kids were going into custody, and so she agreed to take them. So we helped her with some bunk beds for those kids. So it was really amazing to see just that transformation of her to be able to do that. So we helped her out with some bunk beds, and school was starting, and so she could get some clothes for the kids so they could go to school with new clothes like every kid wants to do. So so there's lots of different ways people can help with that, support us.
Now, another initiative that you mentioned to me when we were having a conversation before was something about laundry baskets. Again, when we talk about one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is, number one, it's extremely hard for kids who come into the state's custody when they're older to be taken by families. A lot of teenagers are coming into custody and they're 14 and 15 years old, and the number of foster families that are willing and able, and I say able, right, because there's something to be said for if you have younger kids. The number of families that are able to bring in teenagers is fewer. So these kids come into custody, they're 15 years old, they're in custody or in a home or whatever for 3 years, from 15 to 18, but then they hit 18, and then what happens?
Right.
And that's what we call aging out.
Correct.
So you mentioned something about laundry baskets aging out. What can you tell me about that?
Okay, so in April, we haven't done this before, but we're going to. There's other areas that do this. They're laundry baskets for when kids age out of custody, and they'll have things like cleaning products, toilet paper, paper towels, dishes, cookie sheets. I do have a coordinator that does work with our aging out youth, and she said she had one of her youth that she'd been working with had been baking stuff on a lid of a skillet in the oven because didn't have a cookie sheet.
Right,
I mean,
right.
you're usually when you kind of become an adult, your parents are like, oh, I want to get new cookware.
Sure.
Here, have this cookware.
Or I think of those kids going off to college, right? And we gather up all this stuff, right? And I remember my daughter,
and you send them on
bath
the way.
mat, right? A bath mat and a shower curtain and all these different
things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a little bit more about what is Forgotten Initiative doing, the laundry baskets? They're
for youth that are aging out of custody, and we've also done for youth that are aging out. A lot of them will graduate or get their GED, so we've done graduation gifts for them to really celebrate, because to be able to graduate or to get your GED while you were in foster care, while you were going through all this up and down, because as a teenager you understand a lot more of what's going on in your family. And maybe it wasn't okay, but I want it to be okay. And
but you've got the probably
foster parents, but like they're not my parents.
Yeah,
and it's just there's a lot going on, and so to be able to finish school with all of that is huge. So we really want to celebrate them and their accomplishment, and to show them that was really important. They did that.
In the same way that you've given us a little bit of a roadmap, we can contact the Forgotten Initiative about the journey bags. How can we get involved also with the laundry basket program? I'm sorry. What is it actually officially called?
Just laundry baskets for youth aging out of foster care.
Okay, there you go.
There's not really a short
name. Come on,
name
let's see if we can come up with a name like chapters. Come on, let's see if we can do chapters, right? Okay.
Welcome baskets. I think
nothing.
We've done welcome baskets.
Welcome baskets.
Yeah, welcome to your new, home.
New beginnings, right? The new beginnings basket.
Right. Yeah, that works.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I have to check with the founder, but
right. No, you don't. That's its name. All right, that is its name. So anyway, if I want to get involved with the new beginnings baskets, how would I do that?
You could just contact us, and we can give you a list of what you can put in those, and you can shop for those. Or if you just happen to find a deal on a bunch of laundry baskets and want to bring those to us, we will take pieces and parts and whatever you would like to to share with us. So.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us a little bit more. How can we reach out to the Forgotten Initiative? Where can we find you? How can we get connected with you?
Okay. Our Facebook page is really what we keep the most updated here locally. And it would be www.facebook.com/TFI.Knoxville. And that's going to be the most updated way. Of course, you can always do in the search box just TFI Knoxville, and it should pull that up for you. And then
your phone number and or emails on there as well.
Right. Yeah, you can message us through the page, and then we can.
Are you okay with giving out email? Is that
Sure?
okay?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. What's
It's really long. So.
Okay. All right. So
And
everybody at
when
home,
and if
get out
you're
your
like
pencils
me,
and papers.
it's easy, but it's long.
Right,
So
okay.
it's just knoxville.tn@theforgotteninitiative.org.
Okay.
And typing initiative, there's a lot of I's.
Right, yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
I struggle typing my own email address. So,
and then you're doing it on your phone, and it wants to put
Facebook
spaces
thing
in
is
there, and
sometimes
it's like,
easier because
go to Facebook. Type in TFI Knoxville.
Please email me. I will respond.
Yeah.
I'm just saying sometimes you might type
Sure.
it in wrong.
All right, I got you. Great. Okay.
And we have a website, but I don't keep that as updated as I do the
Right.
Facebook page. People just generally seem to like Facebook. So.
All right. So I already had an idea coming in a little bit about the different things that you guys do. Is there something that we have not essentially? What else do I need to know? Is there something like Matthew, you, the people watching this, they need to know this?
Okay.
What do I need to know?
I think that there's a need in the foster care community for encouragement and support. It's a hard job, but all of them do. The workers have a tough job. They have a lot of kids on their caseload to keep track of and to. They hear it from all sides. They have birth parents that are upset because their children are gone. They have children that are upset because life is so different. Whether or not it's a good different, it's just different, and that's hard. You've got foster parents that are scared for the safety of those kiddos they've come to love. You've got judges that are trying to look at all of this and make a decision.
And then you've got these caseworkers, right?
Right, and then you've got these caseworkers in the middle of all of it. So, I think just to remember to encourage everyone that you meet that might have some kind of hand in the foster care community and to pray for them and to encourage them in what they do.
Sure. Tell me about, we covered a lot of the spectrum. We at the very beginning, you mentioned the fact that there's a spectrum that TFI really helps, and that is from the parents to the caseworkers to the kids. You guys help all of those people. And we've been talking a lot about helping the kids.
Right.
And you just brought up caseworkers. Tell me a little bit about some of the different things that you've done in the past, and then also would like to continue doing when it comes to supporting DCS itself.
Okay. In the past, we have done a breakfast for them one time, and that was really well received. I would love to do that again. It's a big undertaking. Knox County is a big county, so there's 225 plus workers at DCS. So it's a lot of people to provide breakfast for and just logistically to work it out and with their schedules and that kind of thing. But we would love to do that again. And we do have a church partner with us that annually will do goodie bags for them. It'll just have things like Post-it notes and candy and hand sanitizer. Before we've done those little frosty key tags where they can get a frosty because I think they've either had a hard day and need some chocolate ice cream or they have a kid that's had a really hard day and need some chocolate ice cream. And it's just easy. You stick it on your keychain, they can get it free every time they go, So it's
bottles of wine do we give out? No.
Well,
not to the kids. Oh, my bad. No. Okay, so we give out bottles of water, and then if it turns into wine, then hey,
I can't.
You have no control over that.
That's not on me.
No control over that. I got you. So in addition to helping out the caseworkers with breakfasts in the past, as well as providing goodie bags with things like Frosties and whatnot, what are some other things that the Forgotten Initiative does to support Department of Children's Services and its workers?
Okay. We have done a space for them in the past. It was kind of a de-stress space for workers to go into. It's just an empty office that they had at the time, a large file room, where they could just come and relax after a particularly stressful meeting or whatever, or just to have a small conversation. It had some couches, and we had like some yoga mats, and we put Bibles in there and devotionals and things like that. A little tabletop fountain, just little things like that, so they could just kind of relax for a few minutes. We had to move that space, so we're still looking at trying to figure out how we can sort of spruce that up because it was a really super large room. It was a little bit big for the space we were trying to create, and the safe room that they had was in a very small space. And the safe room is where kids hang out while they're waiting for placement once they've initially been removed from their home, and they sit in the office and they wait while workers try to find family or a foster home that can take them. And it was a really, really tiny room, and so they kind of swapped those rooms, and we were able to redo that really large space. And it's great because it's got an area for teens with futons. Teens can be hard to place sometimes, and so sometimes they may have to spend the night in the office while they wait.
Wow.
We've got a baby area with a crib and a changing table. We've got an art area, and one of our church partners replenishes the snack supply that they have there. So there's bottled water, chips, peanut butter crackers, juice boxes, formula, all kinds of different things to make sure that the kids can have a little something to eat and be comfortable while they're waiting there. So,
Okay.
that's another way to, if you want to contact us, if you want to donate food, because of course that always is something that gets used up. So.
Yeah, I remember my wife and I, one of the kids that we were fostering, the parent had visits, but they were supervised visits there at DCS. And so we had to go, and we had to be in, or I'm sorry.
Those are visit rooms, which we have done those too.
Okay. So visit rooms are where,
are
where parents are going to, the birth parents are going to have the opportunity to sit down and visit with the kids in a supervised manner. Right. It's just a small room. It's got the two-way mirror and whatnot. But obviously that needs to be stocked, and it needs to be kid-friendly.
Right.
So that so you guys have had a hand in that in the past, right?
Right. In the past, we've kind of upgraded and refreshed the toys. We've supplied some of the paint and some of the base paint. They have murals in there now. They're really beautiful. And so we've supplied some of the paint over the years for those to get finished. In the spring, we'd like to kind of do a little sprucing up again, maybe go through and clean out the toys and provide some new toys, because of course they get used from like 8 to 5 Monday through Friday by a kid every a kid or two or more every hour. So
I just had a flash to Toy Story 3, right?
Like
all these kids, like the toys are like, oh no,
crazy. Yeah, we need to get not scared toys anymore.
right. Okay.
So
all right.
So we would like to do that again. Hopefully we can do a toy registry or something, and people can access that if they want to.
And again, part of the cool thing is you've got all these ways that if somebody wants to just get involved, all we need to do is go to your Facebook page and find out or send a message to you that says, hey, I have a vision for helping out this way, or hey, what do you have for me to be able to help out? Or hey, I saw in the video that you need toys. I want to make that happen. So there's tons of different ways that people can find ways to support the Forgotten Initiative, which in turn supports the foster care community. Is that fair?
Yes. Awesome. Yeah, I'm a big believer in God giving us spiritual gifts and us being able to use those for His kingdom. And so, you'll have people with different gifts. And I'm really passionate about those teen mamas you talked about, because I was a teen mama too. Right. But I had great parents, and it was a whole different for me. I can't imagine not having that, or being in a different place, in a different family, great or not, but or I'll have somebody that's really passionate about the visit situation, for whatever reason. So we always try to see what people's giftings are too, and how they can use. I've got people that are couponers that love to get us toiletries because they can get them really great deals on them. And
I tried that. It's not me.
It's not me either. I'm like, hey, that's awesome that you do that.
And I'm curious, did you just call couponing a spiritual gift?
I just stuffed out like 4 different stacks of coupons because I never used them, and they were expired.
Right, exactly. So, look at this.
The couponers just
2017. All right, cool. I guess I'll throw that away. There you go. I got
much for the 50-cent Cheerios. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So there you go. That is just a little bit about the Forgotten Initiative here in Knoxville and as well as around the country. If you want to learn more or get connected with this awesome ministry, you can go to Facebook and look up TFI Knoxville. Is it facebook.com/TFI.Knoxville?
I think it's, yes, TFI.
Okay.
Or
either way, if you type it in the search bar, you'll be able to get connected with them. I can't imagine there's a ton of them. But yeah, go ahead and get connected with them. Again, my name is Matthew Parsons, and this is Becky Smith. I am a local realtor who is a foster father and adoptive father as well. I do offer a discount to families and, again, caseworkers, anyone involved with adoption and foster care. So if you're in that community looking for a home, please give me a call. Again, check out this great ministry. Thank you again, Becky, for doing this with me. And Best to you, and thank you for watching, and God bless.